Right now, this particular industry is valued at 72 billion. There is a huge demand. Government recognizes there's a need for more private sector players to come in. Why this particular set of stocks are doing better than rest of the industry? As per the estimate, there's a very strong growth ahead in the next 5 to 6 years. So Indian markets have seen heavy corrections in the last couple of months, but there have been a few sectors which have been very robust. In this video, we are going to talk about a couple of these sectors which are very new and unique and seems to be getting a lot of investor attention. So can you guess which are these sectors? Today we are going to talk about the hospitals as well as the medical equipment sectors in India. Much like the Indian economy, India's healthcare sector is also evolving at a rapid pace. With the rising middle class and affluent class, there is a huge demand for healthcare. As people are getting more aware about their medical health, the need for advanced medical centers as well as the need for advanced medical equipment in those sectors is getting stronger. This is driving innovation in patient care, accessibility, diagnostics and medical attention. So let's start by talking about the Indian hospital sector. Right now, this particular industry is valued at 72 billion and it is expected to grow at a rate of 16 to 17% CAGR over the next decade, and people expect it to reach $130 billion in terms of market cap by 2030. Accelerated growth path ahead for the hospital sector. The medical equipment sector is the enabler of the healthcare and the hospital industry. Right now, this sector is valued at $11 billion and expected to grow at a fast pace from now. So what are the growth drivers for the hospital industry? So the first growth driver is the expansion across tier 2 and tier 3 cities like Indore or Lucknow are attracting so many large hospital chains to come up with new greenfield projects to build the medical infrastructure in those cities. Secondly, I think medical tourism. Indian hospitals are still at a lower cost compared to many other international destinations. So you see a lot of international patients travel to India and make use of Indian hospitals. And thirdly, there is government participation. Ayushman Bharat as well as the private-public partnership that the government is initiating is leading to growth in this sector. We're all aware that India's public hospital sector is highly stressed and there are limited amount of beds that are available. So the government recognizes there's a need for more private sector players to come in and build their infrastructure in this space. As for the medical equipment space, the innovations that are coming up from IoT to robotics are leading to excitement in this sector. Secondly, the Make in India program has actually given PLI scheme to the medical equipment segment. So if somebody is manufacturing medical equipment in India, they get profit linked incentives. Finally, the awareness among people in India about medical health is increasing. There's a higher need for diagnostics that is leading them to go for more preventative healthcare and diagnostic, which is leading to stronger growth in this segment. So why are we covering these two industries together? That is because there's a huge interdependence between hospitals and medical equipment. The hospital segment, in fact, drives the requirement for medical equipment. There are diagnostic tools like MRIs and CT scans that are required by hospitals. You have patient monitoring tools, especially in ICUs and post-surgery that are required. And finally, there are so many surgical tools as well as surgical innovations. Let's try to understand why this particular set of stocks are doing better than rest of the industry. We've seen hospital stocks as well as medical equipment do exceptional growth in comparison to other segments. If you look at the chart for hospital stock, you see it is much more robust in comparison to the rest of the industry. Similarly, going to the medical equipment industry also, you see a very good chart coming even in the recent times. Now, one big thing that is driving growth in this segment is the capex that the different hospital companies have been doing. If you look at Apollo Hospital, they've seen 63% year-on-year growth in their profits, and this is actually driven by higher occupancy rates. For Apollo, the occupancy rates have grown up to 73%. And Apollo has also done a lot of investments in advanced medical equipment and surgery equipment. If you look at Max Healthcare, again, there's been a great profit jump in terms of their books, and they have also spent a lot of money in terms of capex in expanding their reach and getting their occupancy rates higher with the help of advanced medical equipment. Finally, Fortis has also been doing a lot of brownfield expansion projects aiming to improve their margins and efficiency. Similarly, Narayana Hridayalaya has been doing again margin expansion projects, capex projects, greenfield projects, which have led to good efficiency right now and which actually will deliver more efficiency into the future. In the medical equipment field, Polymedicure is well known. They have done the highest exports in terms of medical equipment for the last 6 years, and the extensive manufacturing capabilities have solidified them as the number one medical equipment company in India. Along with this, you have Opto Circuits, another stock in India which has significant global presence. Then you have Hindustan Syringes, which is the medical consumable segment and has seen increased demand of medical supplies, especially during the crisis periods. Along with them, you have a number of other significant stocks like Medanta, which has significant presence in tier 1 as well as tier 2 cities. You have Aster DM, which is specialty hospital chain, and then you have Lalpath Lab, which might not be a hospital but is a huge chain in the diagnostic segment. You have slightly smaller companies like KIMS, Rainbow, as well as Vijaya Hospitals. Then there are a huge list of other smaller hospital chains like Metropolis, JLHL, HCG, Kowai, Thyrocare, Yatharth, which has been an investor favorite, Indra Medico, etc. The opportunities are extensive in the hospital segment. You are seeing greenfields and brownfield projects by the larger hospital chains come out at a very fast pace. Companies like Apollo Hospital, which already has the very extensive network, expand more. You have Fortis, which is a leader in tertiary and quaternary healthcare service, which is also making many greenfield projects. Narayana Hridayalaya, which is there for affordable cardiac solutions, has also been making forays even in foreign geographies. Finally, Max Healthcare has again strong presence across urban and tier 2 cities. With rising hospital requirements, there is need for homegrown medical equipment also. These hospitals cannot import everything from foreign geographies because it becomes very expensive. So even with all of this, there is a challenge of overcrowding because there are not sufficient beds across public and private hospitals. And with growth and with higher presence, the operation cost also compound for these hospitals. Finally, there could be regulatory hurdles that come up in this field. Secondly, for the medical equipment segment, while we are seeing some of them become exporters, there's also a requirement that comes from imports, right? There are certain goods that they need to build these equipments that are imported. There's also a lot of price sensitivity, and there's a requirement for a skilled workforce, which is just evolving in India. In terms of the emerging trends in this segment, some of the biggest trends are the digital transformation. All these hospitals go digital. You are able to actually do a Book My Hospital, and there are various aggregators on the digital space that will help you find a doctor or a hospital. Secondly, there are green hospitals. Many hospitals are turning towards sustainability, reduce medical waste. Finally, there is also a rise in home healthcare where various hospitals are able to give you customized healthcare at home. So what is the way forward for these industries? The first thing that these hospitals have to do is to improve the efficiency. Secondly, they have to expand to the markets that are not covered, which is in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Finally, they have to create specialized center of excellence for niche medical needs so that those are also catered for in our country. The medical equipment industry needs to invest more on the R&D space. They have to also strengthen the after sales support, and obviously if they can export more, that will lead to higher growth in this industry. As per the estimate, there's a very strong growth ahead in the next 5 to 6 years. So that was a quick overview of this emerging segment of hospital, healthcare and medical equipment. If you like this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe to our channel and share it across with all of your friends. If you would like us to cover anything else, any other emerging segments, any other topics, maybe in quant finance or maybe in other financial topics that you would need information from us, please do let us know in the comment section. I'll see you next time. Until then, happy investing.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.